And unfortunately, this became the #1 song on US iTunes. We have a problem in this country about race, and the biggest problem is we refuse to admit that it exists.
Well, don't you think that a lot of this big city, small town businesses racist is about race? The cities have more black people than the small towns.
Folks, we need to talk about the ladies of The View, although I'm not sure if ladies is exactly an appropriate label for the individuals at The View. But regardless, we need to talk about their absolutely unhinged breakdown at Jason Aldean. But first, if you're not familiar with Try That in a Small Town, I should say, this song that the left is absolutely up in arms about, let me contextualize really quickly. So Jason Aldean, if you haven't heard of him, very, very popular country singer, also pretty conservative. He has this new song out called Try That in a Small Town. And basically the premise of this song, right, is that you see all the stuff that happens in the big cities, the looting, the crime, the rioting, all of this stuff. The song basically says, right, try that in a small town. In short, saying that that type of uncivilized, barbaric behavior is not tolerated in small town America. And, you know, if you do these things, it kind of insinuates, obviously, but if you do these things, small town people will defend themselves, right? That is centrally what the song is about, is self-defense against criminals. Of course, according to the left, and this is not exaggeration, look at what happened in New York City with Daniel Penny, defending yourself against criminals is considered racist and terrible, and how dare you do that? How dare you not stand there and just let criminals literally shoot you in the head? If you don't do that, apparently you are a racist. And so, as you can imagine, the left is absolutely up in arms over this. Not only are they calling the song racist, they are saying it is pro-lynching. Okay, so if you defend yourself against someone trying to assault you or carjack you or shoot you, apparently that is pro-lynching. And so, as you can imagine, they're absolutely pissed off about this song. Now, what's funny is that, you know, and as you saw in the first clip I played there, the song never once actually mentions race or insinuates that race, right? Read the lyrics yourself. You will not find one mention of race. The song is about crime and being against crime. Right? So it's saying, you know, look, we're going to defend ourselves against criminals. Again, never mentions race. But what's very funny, as you saw in the opening clip, is that what they are doing is equating being a criminal with a certain racial group, right? And Jason Aldean's not the one doing that. I'm not the one doing that. So my question to Joy Behar and to the ladies of The View is, what exactly are you trying to say there, huh? Because if a song about, again, being against crime and saying don't commit crime, if that is a racial thing, and according to you, if that is somehow taking a racist shot at black people, then what are you trying to say about black people, Joy Behar? I mean, seriously, and this is a sincere question, what are you guys trying to say? Well, we got a few more clips to react to here, because The View, for several minutes on their show this week, went on and on about this. We got to react to Whoopi Goldberg as well as Alyssa Griffin. But first, I need to tell you about our sponsors today over at Noble Gold Investments, because before we react here to Whoopi Goldberg, we need to talk about your retirement. Folks, as you can probably imagine, a recession is very likely on the horizon. This week, Jim Cramer came out and said that there would be no recession, which of course means, right, there's probably going to be a recession. Regardless, we are headed into 2024, which means economic uncertainty, to say the least. And that's why you need to protect your retirement today with our friends over at Noble Gold Investments. Because, folks, as you may know, in a time of recession, in a time of uncertainty in terms of the U.S. dollar and the stock market, to say the least, you never know what you can trust, but you certainly can trust the time-tested, stable assets of gold and silver. And that's owning physical gold and silver, which you can do with the gold or precious metals IRA over at Noble Gold Investments. So be sure to go check them out at thevincedao.com. Again, that is thevincedao.com. Protect your retirement with a recession-proof hedge against all the nonsense, which is, of course, your gold and silver, physical gold and silver at vincedaogold.com. All right, folks. Well, with that said, let's get into Whoopi Goldberg here, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just play it. I suppose the video speaks for itself. Here you go. Here's Whoopi Goldberg talking about, let's try that in a small town.
You know, he talks about life in a small town, and it's different, you know, and he shows these images. He's got folks from the Black Lives Matter movement, And he's talking about people taking care of each other. And I find it so interesting that it never occurred to Jason or the writers that that's what these folks were doing. They were taking care of the people in their town because they didn't like what they saw. Just like,
wait. Okay, hold on. Pause there. So first of all, Whoopi, why are you separating the rioters from the supposedly peaceful BLM protesters? I thought they were the same thing. I thought they were mostly peaceful protesters. So first and foremost, you notice how she tries to draw a wedge when in 2020, these people were 100% equating the two and getting mad, of course, at conservatives for saying, please stop rioting. Regardless, you know, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to say, so these mostly peaceful protesters, according to Whoopi Goldberg, so when they were looting Target, were they just trying to help their community, right? When these people drove, of course, all of the actual businesses out of their neighborhoods, right? Target, Walmart, Amazon, all of these things, they won't even deliver to certain neighborhoods now post 2020 because it is so incredibly dangerous. Were they, of course, helping their community? Was that, and I'm sure, by the way, when the mostly peaceful protesters were going around and looting Target, I'm sure they were giving all those PlayStations to the little kids in need. I'm sure that's exactly what they were doing, right? Get out of here. Give me a break. And even on the front, oh, Vince, the peaceful protesters, the BLM cause. The BLM cause, frankly, and the rioting is one and the same. Because what did, even the peaceful protesters who were against the rioting, because what were they advocating for? They were advocating for defunding the police, neutering the police, community policing, aka, in short, they were advocating for taking the police out of these neighborhoods, right? Or neutering their ability to enforce the law. What has happened in the power vacuum of those things? Well, the BLM riots of 2020 aren't happening anymore, but you still get smash and grabs, right? Where they go in and they take everything out of the store. You get those still on a regular basis. Those still happen in LA, New York, Philadelphia, right? Those, I'd argue, are an extension. Why are those possible? Because no bail policies, because the soft on crime stuff, because the neutering of the police that BLM has advocated for is directly translating, right, to, okay, so now the criminals go and they just attack these businesses. And what happens is these businesses, in turn, end up very often just pulling out of these neighborhoods altogether because it is too dangerous. And in turn, what do you get, right? And this happened in LA after the 92 riots, and it happens every single time, is the neighborhoods just get poorer and the economic situation gets worse because all of the potential jobs and the potential opportunity moves out because it's way too ridiculously dangerous. So on any level, the BLM movement or the riots or whatever you want to say, it all did the exact same thing. But let's continue this unhinged clip here. Take a look.
He should be allowed to say whatever he wants.
Because as a lawyer, when I put my legal hat on, I don't believe in censorship. Right. However, this man is from Macon, Georgia. My father's from Augusta, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. I spent many summers there. Yeah, both. I spent many summers there. It is one of the most racist places in this country. So don't tell me that he knew nothing about what that imagery meant and what he. So I don't give him the benefit.
But I'm saying, along with him, more people should also be held accountable.
And unfortunately, this became the #1 song on U.S. iTunes.
So what this lady is referencing is, I believe, Jason Aldean's hometown is Macon, Georgia. So apparently, if you are from Macon, Georgia, how dare you criticize crime? Of course, you are racist. I don't understand the argument. But it's very funny. So I look up Macon, Georgia racial demographics here. It's actually a 54% black town. Okay, so it's 54% black, 39% white. So Jason Aldean was actually a minority in his hometown, but how dare, it's one of the most racist places in America. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. That makes a whole lot of sense. Anyways, that's Whoopi Goldberg and all these people. Here is now Alyssa Griffin claiming the song promotes racist mobs chasing down black men. Of course, again, it never actually says this. It says we're going to defend ourselves against crime. But apparently, if you do defend I guess that's the message, though. If you do defend yourself against crime, you are literally the KKK. Okay, so check it out here.
So this was, I'm sorry. This was, to me, something where about half the people in my life see it one way and half the people in my life see it a different way. So I'm trying to, like, kind of see what are we disconnecting on. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that his intent wasn't to, you know, stoke division, glorify violence, or racism. I'm going to give him that benefit of the doubt. I don't know. But I'll say this. There was a line, so for the many folks who are offended by this, there's a line in it that says, try that in a small town, see how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. So for a lot of my friends and family who are legal gun owners in small communities, they're like, yeah, that's what we do if someone breaks into a store. He's talking about the right to defend yourself. What I thought of when I read that was Ahmaud Arbery. I think of a black man in a small town in the South who literally just got shot for doing nothing wrong. So I think what becomes problematic is that there's a lack of recognition of what this means to about 50% of the country whose experience isn't Jason Aldean's.
Okay, by the way, oh my gosh, Ahmaud Arbery. How many black men are killed by other black men on a regular basis because their own communities are full of anarchy? You know, I mean, you know the statistics, right? It happens virtually every single day. But of course, Ahmaud Arbery.
Like him, I've always liked his music. I'm kind of a country gal about like a quarter of the time. But this is also for the folks on the right who are defending this. They see the BLM riots, I think many can acknowledge, of course, protests and riots, that George Floyd's death and murder was evil. It was wrong. It was unacceptable. But so was the killing of someone like David Dorn, a black retired police officer who was defending his friend's store and was shot during the riots and aftermath of that movement. So I think if people of good faith can see both sides, they can see there is an issue with this song because of what it means to a lot of communities, but there is an issue of violence, of looting, of rioting.
Yes, but why are you linking it to black people?
Well, that's
talking about. You're the one who linked it to black people. What do you mean? But, you know, what does it mean to a lot of communities? Yeah, I really wonder what it means to, I guess, let's just say police officers when Ice Cube says in F the Police, he's literally going to kill police officers. You know, there's so much offense. I wonder what it means to Christians when Lil Nas X has sex with the devil. Oh, they don't talk about that. But because apparently someone out there is offended because a song is about crime, which, of course, why are you offended by that? Suddenly, you know, this is the problem, is that it hurt people's feelings. Well, you know what is a lot bigger than hurting people's feelings? The crime that's happening in the big cities. You know, people are literally getting stabbed and killed, but how dare they hurt feelings? It's just ridiculous.
That's the issue.
That's the issue. The imagery is what becomes very problematic.
The imagery is what becomes very problematic. I don't know, guys. It's just absolutely unhinged. One last thing I did want to point out about this saga. So after all of this insane defamation and slander, right? Because they're going out here, they're saying it's lynching, all this stuff. At the end of this show, they actually had to read a legal note, which went on to say here, oh, I'm sorry, I have a legal note. So the producers had to come in and say, hey, look, you're going to get sued for this segment. As you could imagine, because it's a ridiculous segment, came in and said, oh, I'm sorry, I have a legal note. Jason Aldean defended his song in a statement saying, the references people have made are not only meritless but dangerous, which of course they are. He added, there's not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that is not real news footage. She continued. And that's the other thing to point out, right? The music video that shows the looting and the burning and the rioting, it's not stock footage. It's not they went and filmed it. It's footage from things that really happened. It's from real BLM riots. But of course, how dare you show real things that really happened? This is conspiracy theory and racist or something, okay? And then he goes on to say, Joy Behar says it's a dog whistle, apparently. So, yeah, again, defending your... Yeah, we are dog whistling. You know what we're dog whistling at? Defending yourself against criminals. That's the dog whistle, apparently. But, all right, guys, that basically wraps up today's video. Let me know what you think. I mean, I've said my piece. The ladies of The View, unhinged as usual. Like I said, again, if it is a racial thing to defend yourself against crime... That's what they said, not me. But yeah, let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Be sure to protect your retirement with our friends over at thevincedao.com. And until next time, Alpha moves only. God bless and peace. See you guys later. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah, God bless.